Today I'll be creating a dramatic watercolor card using the Wallpaper Art Stamp. Hi everyone, welcome to Creative Coloring with Iram. Today's card features a bit of masking, and I chose to cover my major part of the card front, especially the left hand side, with stamping, but you can stamp just one flower and one leaf to make it less complicated. So in case you've forgotten, this is the Wallpaper Art Stamp Set with a gorgeous open blooms, and I absolutely love the mix of solid and outline leaves in this set. Great for no line coloring, and I've used this previously too for a no line coloring a couple of times actually. I will treat my cardstock, this watercolor cardstock, A2 watercolor cardstock, with anti-static powder. I forgot to film this part, but I just used Obsidian ink and stamped the image. I'll now pour over clear embossing powder, which you really don't have to, as this is just an extra step and adds a bit of more extra work to your card making, but for me it makes my process a little bit easier and faster. Okay, so I have used the mask stencils to mask off the stamped flower, and I'll stamp the rest of the images and build my floral arrangement. I'm using the Altenew glue tape to adhere my mask, by the way. Once the stamping is done, I will use a ruby red watercolor brush marker and apply the pigment where I want to show depth. I will apply the pigment on all the petals except for the underside of the petal. If there's an area that you want to show a little bit more darker than the others, you can add more pigment on there, and not just next to the flower center or to on the connecting points, but maybe on the entire petal if you want to. I'm going to take my paintbrush and activate the pigment. This has a little bit of water. Now I'm going to spread it out towards the tip of the petal, but not quite as much. I will clean my brush and then add more water towards the tip of the petal, which will dilute the pigment a little bit, making the tips of the petal a little lighter. For the second one, I'm going to keep the concentration next to the other petal darker, as the third petal is over the second petal partially, so we will have a bit of a shadow from the third petal on the second one. Just keep this bit in mind while coloring, and you are good. I will follow the same technique of coloring as I did with my first petal. No stippling today, you guys, just pretty looking smooth watercolor. And I believe you can hear some crows in the background and some birds. It is 4:30 a.m. as I record this, so it's very early morning, and definitely all the birds are waking up, and I am pretty sure I will not be able to get them out of this voiceover. Now the image looks really nice, and you can stop here or go back in to add more pigment. Now this you can do directly with the brush marker, or you can add some of the pigment onto the palette and pick it up with a paintbrush. The latter gives you a bit more control over the pigment. So if you do not have a lot of practice with watercolors, I would suggest you go with the latter, apply some of the pigment onto the palette, and then pick it up from there. Either way, it's darker pigment that you'd be adding, and that is what is going to make a lot of difference. You will notice that I am using both the paintbrush and the brush marker, especially using the paintbrush after applying the pigment from the brush marker. And the reason I am doing this is because I want to soften the pigment especially the edges of that pigment, so that it doesn't appear as a blob. For the leaves, I'll use tree bark and yellow ochre. I'll start by adding tree bark pigment and spread it out with water. I'll keep the tips and edges of the leaves lighter. I'll then drop in a bit of yellow ochre to the edges of the leaves, and the only reason I'm adding yellow ochre to the leaves is because I'll use tree bark pigment to color my background, and the yellow ochre will give me some division between the leaves and the background. Basically, a distinction between the leaves and the background is what the yellow ochre is there for. I'll color all the leaves in the same manner and then move on to the background. The background is very easy to color. I'll just apply pigment directly from the brush marker. There's no special technique needed for this. I'll leave some part of the right edge out though. I will not apply pigment there. Then I'll apply water to the pigment and activate it. I'll spread it around, and basically I'll just be playing with this background till I'm happy with the look, till I like what I see. And once I'm done, I'll cover the flowers and then add water splatters to the background. I'll leave it on for a few seconds and then sop them up just to get a light texture on the background, because the background is too solid. Everything is too solid for me. You know that I love to add stippling and texture, and this is too solid of look for me. Adding a bit of splatter onto the background will just break away from that solid look. And that's it. I'll just add a sentiment and my card is ready. I hope you enjoyed the coloring session. You do not need to add so much stamping to your card or even watercolor your background. If you are a card maker, you can go with just one flower and one leaf and leave the background plain. You do you. I hope to see you next week. Bye.
Hello there! Did that video just spark your creativity? And do you want more project ideas and inspiration videos too? Well, if you do, please make sure that you subscribe to the Altenew YouTube channel. Also, make sure that you do click that notification bell so you don't miss a video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye!